or back five if you include the wing backs, and then two in midfield holding, and then the forward line of three. Mingueza, Busquets to Messi. Griezmann tries to play it back inside, finds De Jong, and now Sergio Roberto for Griezmann, looking for the angled run of Jordi Alba, hooked back across goal. He managed to keep it in, but that's headed away well by Victor Diaz, and up to the halfway line where Roberto Soldado can't control, but he will try to make life difficult today. Diego Martinez has a real talisman to call upon up front. Roberto Soldado, the name literally translates as soldier, and Glenn, that pretty much sums him up. He is a warrior.
Oh, indeed, and even at his age, now really coming towards the end of his career, but he's still playing at a very high level for Granada, has been this season and in fact last season a vital part to their Europa League campaign as well. Very impressive, probably the best season in Granada's history by far this year, and they'll want to end it on a high, and it'll be mostly thanks to Soldado, their top goal scorer this season as well. Very impressive from the former Valencia man.
It's Busquets finding Elias, turns swiftly, and he's fouled by Yangel Herrera. The midfielder, number 21 for Granada, is on loan from Manchester City. Had a really good season, but a foul there by him, and so maybe first chance for Leo Messi to get a shot away. It is a long way out. What do you think, Glenn? Just about in shooting range for Messi?
Well, it's a similar distance to the one that he scored against Liverpool goalkeeper Alisson in the Champions League a couple of years ago, even though Barca fans will want to forget the return leg in that tie, but we'll move on from that. But I do still think he probably could definitely put that in the top corner, Lionel Messi.
30 metres is the distance. Messi, with a four-man wall, plays it wide, decided it was a little too far out. Jordi Alba's cross is blocked by Fulquier, who took it in a rather tender spot, and Jordi Alba, in a show of empathy, decides that he won't try to continue the attack because that one will leave Dimitri Fulquier's eyes watering for a minute or so.
Yeah, the impact there.
You don't want that.
Nope, not at all.
Victor Diaz can see the funny side. I think even Fulquier can see the funny side. It looks like he's going to be okay. There's Pedri getting a rare rest today. The Barcelona starlet replaced by another, Elias Moriba. What a luxury for Barca that they can give one teen star a rest and bring in another.
I think he needed it, Andy, to be honest. Over the last few games, Pedri, we know how good he's been this season, linking up with Messi especially, but he seemed a bit leggy over the last few games, and obviously now for the final run-in of the season, sadly, Barcelona aren't in the semi-finals of the Champions League, so they can fully focus on these final 5 games after tonight. But I do think a rest is well-deserved for Pedri, and obviously it gives Elias a chance, and sadly that's a chance that Riqui Puig will feel like he isn't going to get anytime soon.
Yeah, it's an interesting point, and it was addressed by Barca's assistant manager, Alfred Schroeder, in his pre-game interview, where he was asked specifically about Elias, and he used the word strong. And I think there's a realization from Barca that Granada are a very physical team, and that therefore a player like Elias, rather than the smaller and more technical Riqui Puig, might be the kind of player they need today. Jordi Alba inside to Griezmann. Now Busquets. Messi's dummy wasn't quite anticipated by De Jong, and it's cleared away by the on-loan Atletico defender, Nelwen Perez. And then the foul on Luis Suarez. Big occasion for Samuel Umtiti as well. Glenn, we see him there making the foul on Suarez, but only his 6th start of the season. And he's been preferred today to Lenglet and Araujo as he makes this clearance as well. So he'll be pleased that Koeman does still have some kind of faith in him.
Well, again, I think it's a case of Lenglet as well playing most of the games this season at centre-back, and obviously some rotation is key. I do also believe, however, that if there is a Barcelona defender that's probably going to leave the club this summer, it's going to be Samuel Umtiti, especially with the possible and rumoured arrival of Eric Garcia from Manchester City. But as well, the surprise for me is that Araujo is not starting today, considering that he still hasn't played a full game since returning from injury.
It's Sergio Roberto cutting it back. De Jong gets it back from Griezmann. Cut back, nearly reaches Messi. Cleared away as far as Alba. Deflected shot goes wide. Barca's first real threat on goal, coming after some lovely interplay between Griezmann and De Jong. Sergio Roberto there, and then look at the 1-2. Not offside because there was a defender tracking the run of Sergio Roberto. Ended up with the right-footed shot from Jordi Alba, and only a whisker away from Griezmann connecting with it as well. Corners played short, and Sergio Roberto now gives it to Messi. Angled ball in is a dangerous one. Germán Sánchez flicks that away for another corner. And Barca starting now with 9 minutes played to threaten the goal of Aaron Escandel, the Granada keeper, making his first start of the season in La Liga. This corner's played straight in, might be going for goal, Messi. You always have to wonder that with him. He's desperate to get that, the gol olímpico, they call it in Spain, the Olympic goal. And he's tried so many times. He nearly got one in El Clasico, didn't he, Glenn? Hit the post after beating Thibaut Courtois. And just get a feeling he's desperate to get one before he ends up retiring, which hopefully will be many years to come.
Indeed, he's tried it repeatedly over the last few games, but I was very impressed when he tried it in El Clasico, especially considering how tall Thibaut Courtois is, probably the tallest goalkeeper in La Liga. And he's tried it here again against Aaron. And once he does it, I think that'll be another one of the magical different types of goals that Messi has scored over his career.
It's about the only type of goal he hasn't scored yet, so you can see why he wants to get it, just to complete the set. Maybe then he'll move on to one from the halfway line, direct from a kickoff, just for something different. Here he is on the ball. 10 minutes played. Sergio Roberto inside for Busquets. Griezmann closed down by Janeteki, so he goes wide. Sergio Roberto back inside for Busquets once more. Now Moriba finds Umtiti. Barca are going to have to be patient tonight, and they look like they're prepared to be patient. It's not going to be easy to unpick this Granada defence, but they will trust themselves to finally find a route through. That was Mingueza with a slightly heavy touch, allowing the challenge to come in. But I think that word, Glenn, could be very important for Barca tonight: patience.
It is going to be very important, Andy. I mean, we can just see here that the second Busquets picks up the ball, surrounded by 3 players in red and white shirts. And what I find very interesting as well is it's Machis, who's mostly playing also as a left wing back, really, with helping out in defence at least. And it's Suarez alongside Soldado, who's got a bit more freedom up front.
Messi trying to slide the pass into the penalty area, but just a little too heavy and gathered by Escandel. A great turn from Messi, holding off Kinney before threading the pass through a little too heavy. Soldado hooks that in, but there was a foul on Busquets. A lot of work for that man tonight, Yangel Herrera. He will be working very hard to cover his back four, but also of the midfielders that Granada have, he's the one who's most likely to get forward into the Barca box when they do come forward, something they haven't really done as yet. Given away by Griezmann. Here is Herrera sending it for Luis Suarez, who is quick, but not quick enough to reach that, as Ter Stegen is just able to gather on the edge of his area, and a quick throw out. Sergio Roberto heads on to Frenkie de Jong, and a rather cynical block off by Janeteki on de Jong. And Ateki there maybe a little fortunate to escape a yellow card, because he knew exactly what he was doing.
Indeed, he was beaten there by the skill of de Jong, really, but it was originally a great long pass out from Ter Stegen. But it's Janeteki and Yangel Herrera. More importantly for those two, it's just legs in midfield. They will not stop running. They will run tirelessly for the team, and just having to block those runs from deep from Frenkie de Jong, who now is a key player in this Barca setup, whether it's with a back 3 or a back 4.
And there's a statistic we can expect to grow as well. Fouls committed, talking about Ateki and Herrera, both of them on 2 apiece already. They are a physical side, Granada. Here's Umtiti being a little too physical with Luis Suarez. who is Granada's record signing. He joined from the English Championship club Watford, for whom he never actually played. He was constantly loaned out by Watford last season with Zaragoza in the Spanish second division, where he was the second highest scorer, nearly took them to promotion. And a Colombian with a big future. Machis floating the ball in. Piqué heads away. Victor Diaz nods it down to Soldado. Back to Machis, who can be a real threat as well, the Venezuelan, with his direct running. Victor Diaz with the cross that's harmlessly going to go out for a throw-in. Of course, the key thing, Glenn, to the pattern of the game, the shape of the game, would be if Barca do get the breakthrough, because it would force Granada to have to come out, take more risks, put more men forward. While it's 0-0, they'll be perfectly happy to sit back and have maybe the occasional spell of pressure and possession like this, but mostly they'll be sitting back and concentrating on defending while it's 0-0.
Indeed, Andy. I mean, Granada, they know they need the 3 points if they want to try and close that gap on the European places, but whilst it's still at 0-0, they have to be cautious more than anything else, because one slight mistake and they will be punished by Barcelona. But you are right, if there is a moment of brilliance, shall we say, and Barcelona find a breakthrough and go 1-0 up before at least half-time, Granada will have to react, and they'll have to try and use some of those players that they have on the bench, despite the number of absentees that they have this evening.
It's Frenkie de Jong, closed down by Machis. Granada with 10 players behind the ball, only Soldado left forward as it comes to Griezmann now. Griezmann trying to dribble past Machis, who's showing defensive diligence to get back. He was claiming this should have been a goal kick, but he didn't seem to have much of a case there. Seemed to clearly come off Machis, and it is a corner. Barca's third with 15 minutes played. Piqué, Umtiti, Mingueza are forward. In the box as it's played short to Messi. Another angled ball to the far post and gathered again by Aaron Escandel. Fulquier closed down by Elias Moriba, but he and Eteki work it away for Herrera. And now Kinney trying to find Darwin Machis, who is very quick. Both of the Granada wingers today, Suarez on the right and Machis, are quick, direct, powerful runners. If they do get the chance to run in behind Barca's wing-backs, that could be a cause of danger.
Mingueza is definitely the quicker of the three, though, Andy, in that case, I do believe. I mean, I think in a foot race against Umtiti, Suarez can definitely favour himself.
Now there's a foul by Piqué on Soldado. The two veterans getting wrapped up. Piqué had his arms around the waist of the 34-year-old, who was also grabbing hold of his shirt. I think Soldado did well there to buy the foul. He certainly won't back down from a physical confrontation with Piqué. It's played down the left for Machis, hooked inside first time. Piqué wasn't sure that would reach Ter Stegen, so taking no chances. Look to play their way out. That's poor from Mingueza, but luckily for him, it rolls straight to Elias. Wasn't who he was looking for. And now he goes on a run. He was just pulled back there by Herrera, but the referee not seeing it as a foul. Play goes on. Victor Diaz for Fulquier. Doesn't find Suarez. De Jong chest down, and there's another foul on Busquets by Eteki. That could easily have been a foul as well. The arm across the shoulder by Herrera. Busquets misplaces the pass and Kinney thumps it away. Again, showing that Granada are more concerned about protecting their goal than taking any chances in possession. De Jong to Busquets. De Jong continuing his run towards the penalty area. So too was Sergio Roberto, but Busquets didn't like the look of the pass that was available to him, so he just goes back to the back three. Mingueza now. he could have an important role to play, Mingueza, in breaking down this Granada defence with his well-timed runs, something we've seen him do on many occasions. He's staying back for now, though, as it's returned to Busquets. Lovely ball threaded through for Messi, who can turn, find Griezmann. Griezmann's low shot saved by Aaron Escandel, the closest Barca have come so far. Beautiful through ball from Busquets. Messi took it, turned to find Griezmann, and he just sent it too close to the goalkeeper.
Did well to get that shot, though, straight through the legs of Neuwen as well, but sadly straight at the keeper. It's a very good pass, though, from Busquets to start that play, and Messi doing what he does best inside the box there.
It's that kind of incisive passing from the midfield into the penalty area that will be so crucial for Barca to find today. The other option is going wide and delivering crosses, but it's more Barca's way to pick their way through rather than force their way through, especially really in the absence of an out-and-out centre-forward. Martin Braithwaite is still missing through injury. They do have Ousmane Dembélé on the bench, but again, he's not really a traditional centre-forward, not the kind of player who thrives on crosses. Here's Soldado going in late on Griezmann. Another free kick. And Soldado gets the first yellow card of the game. He would maybe argue that he got the ball, but he went through the man to do so.
Heavy challenge there from Soldado on Griezmann, who I fully believe that he's now meriting his place in the starting 11. In fact, by doing that, he's keeping out Ousmane Dembélé. We know today Granada aren't going to leave that many spaces in behind for Dembélé to run onto, unless they go maybe 1-0 behind. But Griezmann really deserving his place at the moment in the starting 11 for Barca.
20 minutes played at Camp Nou. It is goalless. Barca so far haven't been able to put themselves top of the provisional table. They've got a long way to go, though. 70 minutes of this game remaining. And I'm sure Ronald Koeman will have emphasised the need to his players not to force anything, not to become out of shape, because if that happens, that's when Granada's threat on the counter-attack could come to the fore with the speedy wingers Suarez and Machís. But at the moment, in this opening quarter of the game, Barca have had total control of proceedings. Messi just shows too much of it to Kinney. Neuwen goes back to Escandel. Not a great kick out, and it'll drop to Ilaish. He's immediately challenged by Herrera, and Germán Sánchez sends it long. Umtiti with the header. Sergi Roberto challenged by Machís, who's able to win the ball for Granada. Inside to Ateki. Kinney is forward down the left-hand side. Ateki steps back to find Germán Sánchez. And now Victor Díaz. Fulquier. Closed down by Alba. In for Herrera, who goes over the top, and it's a great ball for Machís. It's just too long for him. That is exactly the kind of run that Machís loves to make, direct towards goal, timing it onto the long through ball. Not far away.
Not far away at all. A very good long ball in behind. That's what Yangel Herrera, we know he can do that as well, as giving a few goals from the middle of the park. But that's something that Mingueza and Sergi Roberto both going to have to be wary of Machís running in behind, as well as Umtiti and Alba with Luis Suarez on this near side.
Messi down the line for Sergi Roberto. Tracked closely by Ateki. Back to Messi. Gets it back from De Jong. He's forced back towards goal, just a few paces. So Granada can get themselves set again. Having to do a lot of running today. Now here's Mingueza for the first time coming forward. As I mentioned, that might be something he'll have to do. He finds Griezmann onto Messi. Messi looking for the 1-2 with Ilaish, but it's well read by Victor Díaz. And now possibly the chance for Luis Suarez to have a run, but he's turned back inside and given it straight to Ilaish. Now Busquets. Messi looking for Griezmann. Back to Messi. Narrow angle. Messi! It was never in doubt. As soon as that ball went into the path of his left foot. He was always going to hit it. And of course, he found the perfect angle. And of course, he is the man to score the goal to send Barca, for now, to the top of the table. 26 goals this season from the, fair to say, trusty left foot of Leo Messi.
There was no doubt at all, Andy, when that ball dropped for Lionel Messi, but credit has to be given as well to that man, Antoine Griezmann. His fabulous turn on the ball, as we'll see here, gives him that space to lay off the pass for his captain, Messi. And there we see lovely finishing to that back post. Messi, 26 goals, never stops surprising anyone.
Look at the precision of that shot, very nearly grazing the inside of the far post. Just placed it perfectly, but hit it with power as well. We shouldn't be surprised because we've seen it so often, but that doesn't mean we shouldn't be impressed, because it's still a phenomenal goal-scoring ability that he has. But here is Herrera trying to level straight away. A rather tentative shot in the end. Had to get the shot away with his left foot. He'd rather hit it with his stronger right. But that's a good opportunity wasted by Granada, Glenn, to get level immediately.
Well, yes, I mean, we saw Yangel Herrera there trying to hit on his weaker left foot, and it was always going to be a tall order to beat Ter Stegen, even if it was with his right foot. But we can have another look at it here as the poor back pass, sadly, no surprises, coming from Samuel Umtiti, who is still lacking game time this season. Piqué doing well to block the space there on the edge of the box, but Barca slightly lucky there that that ball didn't drop to, for example, Soldado, who we know he can definitely hit them, even if it's on his weaker foot.
Yeah, it was a poor pass from Umtiti, and not very well dealt with either by Busquets. Both of them culpable there, but now they work their way out from the back. Griezmann finding De Jong on one of his runs, and watch out, Leo Messi's in space, cutting inside onto his left foot. This time it's well blocked by fellow Argentine Nelwen Perez, not allowing Messi's effort to travel towards goal. Another clearance from him here. There's Umtiti with a more assured touch, finding Oscar Mingueza. Sergio Roberto on to Griezmann. Back to Busquets. Griezmann with a couple more passes, staying heavily involved and giving it short to Messi again. That goal also, as you talked about, Glenn, the importance of Griezmann. I talked about the Messi finish. You rightly highlighted the excellent assist from Griezmann, but it underlines the growing feeling that they've got a really good understanding now, Messi and Griezmann, something that was a topic particularly last season. There were constant reports that Messi didn't like playing with Griezmann, didn't want him in the team, but that all feels like a long time ago now.
Indeed, I think that also added a bit, something that added fuel to the fire as well was the fact that Pedri and Messi have linked up so well this season in Pedri's first campaign at the club, and Griezmann has already played at least one more season than Pedri with Messi, and Griezmann slowly but surely has found his place in the team, and we just proved there that their relationship and that bond with Messi is slowly growing and becoming every time that little bit more stronger, and that's a fine finish there to break what is essentially a back six at times for Granada tonight.
Here's Griezmann again looking to be provider, but De Jong dummied it, hoping that someone was running in behind him. Well dealt with by Piqué on the halfway line, holding off Soldado, who feels he was fouled there. Look at the possession there, 77% for Barca, which isn't surprising. Here they come again. A second goal really would settle them and leave Granada with a mountain to climb. They're playing with a lot of confidence now. Barcelona, as Umtiti exchanges passes with Elias. Busquets to Piqué, sent wide for Alba. Elias holding off Victor Diaz, calmly on to Busquets, making Granada do a lot of running here, and now Messi picking it up in space again. Falls to Elias, trying to find Messi. Nelwen stepping in, but not clearing decisively. So demanding on the Granada players to keep on concentrating, keep on focusing, keep on chasing. With a relief for them there as a Messi pass goes astray. Let's look at the goal again. Beautiful turn, as you say, Glenn. The take from Griezmann was perfect, and then the pass nicely weighted, which allowed Messi to just let it run in front of him. He didn't have to take a touch even before setting himself to shoot.
Indeed, I don't think you can't take away anything there from the finish, and you can't really put any blame on Escandel in goal. I mean, he hasn't played a lot this season. Mostly Ruiz Silva's featured, but that's just a very good finish from probably the best player ever to play the game, or at least one of them, and it's just a fine finish that he can't get a hand to.
On the Griezmann situation, I think he certainly as well benefits from this formation now that Barca aren't playing a three up front as often was the case, especially last season when Luis Suarez was still there. He's got more freedom to roam, and that really suits him. Here's De Jong finding Messi. Another good block, this time by Victor Diaz. Messi maybe just hesitating half a step to release a shot, which allowed the challenge to come. And now Sergio Roberto fouling Darwin Machís to relieve the pressure for Granada. But there have been signs since the opening goal that Barca are going to be capable of really opening up Granada if they start to chase the game. At the moment, it just looks as though a second goal is a matter of time.
Well, Barcelona have done their homework, Andy, coming into this game. They know that it sounds simple on paper, but nothing is, of course. They pick up 3 points, they go top. If they at least draw, they go second. But obviously, going into that game, even at the weekend against Valencia and that Atletico de Madrid game in a couple of weeks' time, picking up 3 points tonight is just essential. So they knew from the start they had to put in what we could only call as a professional performance and get the job done.
They've certainly done that in the opening half hour. Very commanding performance so far from Ronald Koeman's team. But we did see with that chance for Herrera that he should have made more of, that Granada cannot be discounted from the game. Certainly not yet. Only half an hour played. Messi's goal midway through the opening period, separating the teams so far. Piqué onto Mingueza. De Jong to Messi, who's been left alone, and that's not a good idea from Granada. He finds Sergio Roberto, and the referee deciding not to give the advantage after Messi was clattered as he released the pass. So free kick for Barcelona. Nelwyn Perez just a little late. Don't think there was anything cynical in that. Genuine attempt to play the ball, but Messi got there before him and then felt the force of his shoulder in his face.
There are very few ways to try and stop Lionel Messi. Just taking him into the ground, in that case a straight shoulder to the face. Luckily the Barcelona captain is fine and back on his feet, but you could also see the reaction from Roberto, instantly seeing that it was Messi who was on the ground, stopping play to let the set piece be taken. Had it been someone else, maybe Messi would have said play on.
Por favor, apoye suscribiéndose.
Messi was gesturing to the referee there that he felt Perez had raised his elbow. Well, that didn't seem to be the case from the replay we saw. Just a collision between the two. Messi now will take the free kick himself with 5 players around the edge of the area. It's actually played short, and now Sergio Roberto cuts it across goal, and there's no one to get a touch on it. Yaneteki was the closest to it. Not sure he even got anything on it. Fulquier now looking to run on the counter. He does well, but not with the pass. But that's going to come back. That's good refereeing by González Fuertes, because Fulquier was fouled, and the advantage was initially allowed, and then the referee, seeing there was no advantage, blowing the whistle so that Granada have the free kick. Machís to Kinney. Soldado back for Kinney, shows a little too much of it for Piqué. Referee ruling that as a fair challenge. Kinney down in some pain, holding his ankle. And Piqué seems to be telling his teammates to kick it out to let him get treatment, but they're ignoring him. And Busquets finds Messi. Still Barca continue. De Jong looks back to Sergio Roberto. De Jong once more. Griezmann joining the attack now. And still the Granada players are asking Barca to kick it out, and still they're refusing to do so. They're defending with 10 at the moment, and now finally the referee does stop play, something Granada have been wanting him to do for a while, although it's really only for head injuries that referees are supposed to stop it. However, Kinney still down and seemingly in a fair amount of pain. This is the challenge. Yeah, I think Piqué's got away with one there because he missed the ball with his leading foot, caught Kinney, and then got the ball with his trailing foot. And even though he did win the ball eventually, it was a hard challenge, and he went through the man, so that should have been a free kick for Granada, really.
Spot on, Andy. I think, to be fair, there's no malice in that challenge from Piqué. I think we can agree on that. But you are right that when he goes for the ball, it is really with both of his feet that he actually ends up taking out Kinney, and that should really have been given us a foul straight away.
I think we could see that with his reaction as well. He was immediately gesturing for his teammates to kick it out, Piqué, which showed that he knew he'd made fairly heavy contact. Kinney is back up on his feet now with a grimace. Seems he will at least try to continue. Adrian Marin was warming up. They have 10 players out tonight, Granada, including a fair few defenders who've been regulars this season. Carlos Neva, Jesus Vallejo, Domingos Duarte. It's a tough time in the season for them. They've played more games than anyone else in La Liga because they were involved in the Europa League qualifiers. They ended up playing 15 games in the Europa League. This is their 53rd game in total this season. So they're bound to be running on empty a little. Messi giving it away there, but it's quickly won back. Griezmann running through, goes down, no foul, and it bounces off Busquets for Umtiti. Now Busquets over the top, great ball. Messi takes it superbly into the area to send it wide. And I'd set him up to score there. I was halfway through saying Messi to score the second goal, but for once he sends it off target after a brilliant ball from Busquets. He looks like he was onside, so the goal probably would have stood.
That is a world-class first touch from Lionel Messi. You don't expect anything else, but again, it's that combination of Busquets and Messi. We saw a long ball in behind to try and pick out Messi. I think it was against Real Sociedad a few games ago. Similar pass over the top this time, and Messi just denied by that good save, but a very good play.
Yeah, actually, it hit the boot, didn't it, of Aaron Escandel. Great save. Now the header from the corner is a powerful one from Umtiti, but fortunately for Granada, straight at the goalkeeper. If this had been either side of him, it would have been a goal because it was very powerfully headed by Umtiti, but Aaron Escandel was able to gather.
Completely unmarked as well, Andy, which I think is the worrying thing for Granada. Barcelona playing with a back three. It means they do get more height in set pieces, having Mingueza, Piqué and Umtiti, but he had a free header there, the Frenchman.
Now Alba's clearance is charged down and falls to Machis, but a mix-up between him and Soldado over the placement of the pass. And so the clearance was made, but Granada have it back now, and that's looking for Luis Suarez, slightly heavy with the control. And here is Messi on a jinking run, brought down by the second challenge, wants to get on with it quickly. Finds Sergio Roberto, back to Busquets now. Again looking for Messi over the top. Just keeps it in, cuts it back, doesn't quite reach Elish after being just beyond Griezmann. Now Soldado winning it. Here's Suarez on the run. Beats one challenge and looks for Machis. Opens it up to the right. Machis is going to struggle to keep it in. He does so. But then Umtiti comes over to put it out for a throw-in. We have seen the odd moment of threat from Granada. And while it remains 1-0, Glenn, they'll feel they are still in the game.
Indeed, I don't think they should go all out, even though they are 1-0 down.
Absolutely.
If they hold on to at least this 1-0, I'd say, with about 20 minutes left to play, and then they go for it, that makes complete sense. But they have had a few half chances, we could say, on the break, and anything's possible with any maybe soft back passes made from Barca.
Fulquier with the dangerous cross there that almost reached Kinney. Sergio Roberto was able to clear. Herrera back to Kinney, and now Herrera once more. Looking for the run of Soldado. Danger here. Soldado laying it back. Eteki with the shot. And he maybe just took his eye off the ball for a split second because he saw the challenge from De Jong coming. And as a result, it was poorly struck well over the top. There we see the goal again, and Messi finding too much space for Granada's liking initially and then with the run. Diego Martinez won't be happy with the fact that Messi was left unchallenged as he ran into the area. Here's Elish. Alba. We haven't seen too much of Jordi Alba coming forward so far today. Normally a very prominent feature of Barcelona's attacking play.
Mostly they've played down the right today, Andy, from what we've seen, which emphasises what you're saying as well, because Jordi Alba normally plays as a winger more than a left-back half the time.
Machis looking for Soldado, who can get away from Alba into the area. Tried to square it, looking for Suarez, but Umtiti did well to send it behind for a corner. Granada keep having these threatening moments, though, where they get in behind the Barca defence. And Soldado, rather than shooting, probably made the right decision there, trying to square it to Luis Suarez. And that could have easily gone in as well, as it span up off Umtiti into the side netting. Another moment of threat from Granada.
And it was that first touch from Soldado that really set him up for that possible pass. That was a brilliant first touch from the number 9. Just wide, though.
Here's a corner. They are dangerous from set pieces. Germán Sánchez in particular, as it bounces off the head of Piqué and away. Gathered by Machis, the corner taker. 5 minutes to play in the opening period. Granada battling to get back in the game. Piqué heads away. Now Busquets. Challenged by Herrera. And the free kick is taken quickly. Messi. Granada for once only have 6 back. And Alba getting forward for one of the first times today. Griezmann. Busquets to Messi. Combining with Griezmann again and continuing his run. Granada half clear. They've got everyone back again now as Griezmann takes it on to find Mingueza. Sergio Roberto with Frenkie de Jong out on the right-hand side. Messi again drifting into space, looking up to see the run of de Jong, but plays it beyond him. But once again, Granada maybe allowed Messi too much space there to receive the pass and have time to look up and pick out a delivery. There was the corner from Granada at the other end a couple of minutes ago. I think Soldado maybe feels he was fouled as the ball came in. Didn't see anything particularly there. And that stat on the screen really underlines what we were saying a couple of minutes ago, Glenn. 7 attacks down the right for Barca and none down the left-hand side. It's been more Sergio Roberto than Jordi Alba so far.
Yes, Roberto's had much more freedom down that right-hand side than Alba has on the left. And I do think it's because on that far right-hand side, Machis is sort of tucking in as a left wing-back. And defensively, he's not as sound as Carlos Neva, for example, who would normally play there. As for Jordi Alba, he's constantly going head-to-head with Fulquier, who is really an out-and-out right-back, playing at right wing-back and not finding those spaces in behind.
Busquets clips the pass to Messi, who turns away from Perez and then sprints away from him and is then hauled back. And Perez effectively saying to the referee there, please could I have a yellow card? And Pablo González says, of course, for that challenge. Here's your yellow. Knew that he was beaten, Nehuen, and that's about as obvious a yellow as you'll ever see.
Not trying to make Messi sound very old here, but I'm sure Neuen knows exactly. He's seen enough videos of Lionel Messi, especially being Argentinian as well, to know that once he's got round you, he's gone. So foul him or let him go. And I don't think Diego Martinez would have been very happy had he just let him go.
No, but he does have now to be careful, the central defender, on a yellow card for a half and a bit. Last couple of minutes, normal time at the end of the first half. Here's Griezmann making a run into the area. Back to Jordi Alba, and Messi looking for Alba again. Victor Diaz can head away as far as Griezmann. Busquets, Messi alongside him. What will Messi conjure here? Goes for the simple square pass to Elish. Alba. Griezmann looking for the 1-2, but Victor Diaz was able to block that and safely back to Aaron Escandel. So Barca can be happy, of course, with the lead. Happy in general with the control they've been able to exert on the game. But this game is by no means a foregone conclusion. Granada are still in it. And so Real Madrid fans, Atletico fans, Sevilla fans watching, there is still hope that Barca might not finish tonight on top of the table. Victor Diaz hooks it forward, bounces, and then Herrera late on Umtiti. And again, they take the free kick quickly. That's something Barca have done throughout the game. Want to try and take advantage of Granada having men forward while they do. De Jong finding Messi. Elish, the challenge is coming from behind, and he wasn't aware of that. And Machis was able to bundle him off the ball. And now Kinney, excellent tackle from Busquets, nearly winning it back. Kinney then finding Germán Sanchez. Umtiti chest down to De Jong. Messi. So we reach the 45-minute mark. And the referee not going to allow any stoppage time. I thought we might have a minute with the injury to Kinney a while ago, but straight up we go to the tunnel, and it is Lionel Messi whose goal decides the teams at the moment, with the Granada players having given a good account of themselves in the opening 45 minutes, but a big challenge for them to come as they try and take points off the side who are looking to move to the summit of the table. Lionel Messi with his 26th goal of the season, superbly taken after great combination with Antoine Griezmann. And so they are halfway there. They've got 45 minutes to finish the job tonight at the break at the Camp Nou. It's Barcelona 1, Granada 0.
Come on in the second half, do you think, Kevin Campbell, or will Elish carry that midfield through right until the end?
No, Joe, I think Pedro will come on at some stage. The game's kind of set in a very difficult situation for Granada, because they need to open up a little bit, and if they open up, Barcelona look like they could really hurt them. So they're having to play a little bit cagey at the moment. I don't think they've got the quality at the top end of the pitch, Joe. But, you know, if they do open up, the likes of Pedri coming on could make a difference.
We'll come back to that midfield in just a second. Peter, I want to ask you first about the two formations. Now, we knew that Barcelona were going to be 3-5-2. Granada have set up with this 5-2-3. Just explain to those watching the difference.
Well, obviously, Granada have come to make it very difficult. So they're defending low, low in the block. Perez, Sanchez and Diaz have done remarkably well. They're the three centre-backs. But the wing-backs aren't attacking, the more defensive wing-backs, where if you look at Barca's system, their two wing-backs are more offensive. So that's the difference. But I think Granada have been quite physical. That's why I think Ilyas is in there, because of the physicality of the game. But I've been really impressed with the organisation of Granada. They're hard to break down. Well, Kevin's right. If they show any ambition to go forward, you've seen the quick free kicks and the quick transition which Barcelona have got. That's what they've got to be really careful. Hey, it all comes back to the magic man at the end of the day, though.
Yeah, it does. We'll see his goal in just a second. VJ is saying respect for Granada, the way they've set up defensively. Is this one of the better systems you've seen, Kevin, to deal with Barcelona?
Joe, I think because there's extra bodies at the back, the way Barcelona play, especially around that box, you need to get the bodies in position. And sometimes you've got to try and crowd Messi out, because if you leave him 1v1, Joe, he will kill you. And the one time they left him, he opened up, great play by Griezmann, and Messi gets in. So I think it is a really good system to try and quell Barcelona. But they're so good, Joe, with Messi, they find a way.
Come on, then. Without further ado, let's have a look at Messi's goal. Peter, talk us through this. By the way, it was narrow, wasn't it? It was a very acute angle.
Well, what you've got to say about Messi and Griezmann, they're getting an understanding. It's a great little pass, but Messi's movement is fantastic, isn't it? Give and go. It's hard to defenders to go with him. And what you would say about Granada, they've worked hard, but as the game progresses, all the energy they're expanding, trying to stop these lads passing the ball. I mean, that's just brilliant. That's the only place he could beat the keeper, in that corner, but great way to pass. And superb finish. Superb.
Do you think, Kevin, that these two had this kind of understanding in the first half of the season?
No, I don't think so. I think it really comes from playing together quite a bit. But Joe, if you can take it back to where Messi picks the ball up and he plays the ball, when he plays it into Griezmann, watch Messi's movement. He fakes to go inside and then he bursts into the box, into the gap. No defense is going to stop that, Joe. No defense. It is absolutely brilliant. Absolutely world class.
Now, it hasn't... I know that the penalty, and just remind people, Peter, what happened a couple of weeks ago. I know that wasn't the pivotal moment, but it certainly helped, didn't it, when Messi was on a hat-trick. But why do you think that they have a better understanding now? Is it when they changed to that 3-5-2 formation that they have become a better combo?
Yeah, I think there's numerous reasons. I think what you've just mentioned, the change of system, and they're up the pitch and they're playing 1-2s together. I think what it is in the penalty, when Messi had 2 goals, he got a penalty for his hat-trick and he's given it to Griezmann, which I think is great for team spirit. But the biggest thing for me, and Kevin, is the confidence that Griezmann's now playing with. I mean, Messi's always had it, but, you know, Griezmann was getting in positions, wasn't hitting the target. Now he's making goals and scoring goals, and it's confidence. And you might sound ridiculous for an experienced international footballer, but confidence in any sport, especially football, is a massive thing. Griezmann's now playing with it. You can see he's expansive. He's getting confidence in his play, and it's great.
Which is your favourite combo, Kev? This is what the fans think. Messi Alba, Messi Pedri, Messi Griezmann. Messi Alba, as far as the audience is concerned, is still their pick. It's just levelled out. It's just levelled out as I spoke.
Joe, I think you're seeing the best of the past, because Messi and Alba have got the longevity, Joe. But this combination of Griezmann and Messi seems to be propelling this Barcelona team towards the La Liga title. So I'm not surprised that they don't, that they're level at the moment, because you know what fans are like, Joe? Give me it here and now.
Yeah, absolutely. Let me get a couple more comments in here. Mohammed says, as the day goes by, the Messi-Griezmann combo is getting better. You're absolutely right, which then comes back to the conversation we had before kickoff, Peter, about the players. You know, we talked about the debts, the players that may have to leave the club in the summertime. Each day that goes by with this combination getting better, Peter Reid, Griezmann is not going to be one of them.
I've got to say, in recent games, he's been absolutely outstanding. So I tend to agree. We were talking before kickoff because of the money cost and his international standing, where Griezmann might be one of them who they could sell. But on these performances, it'd be very, very difficult to, he's been absolutely tremendous. And that understanding looks great with Messi.
Yeah. I just want to ask, because Sandeep has posed the question, Kevin. Umtiti, now, he was one of the changes for tonight's game against Granada. So far looking good. Marks out of 10, Kevin, for Umtiti's performance in that first half.
Joe, I think Umtiti's done pretty well with what he's had to deal with. It hasn't been a lot he's had to deal with, but what has come his way, he's dealt with it pretty well. I'll give Umtiti a 6, Joe. I'll give him a 6. He knows he's up against a physical side. He's being physical with the strikers, which is a good thing. And I think he's winning his battle, Joe.
Marks out of 10 from Umtiti, Peter Reid.
Yeah, I think he's... I tell you what, defensively, I ain't got a problem with Umtiti. I just think when he's got to work the ball and his technique, I just get a little bit concerned. But he's done smashing. 6, yeah, average.
Kevin Joe Sebastian says Messi seems to be holding off because of the yellows. Just explain the yellow situation for those who were not with us before kickoff, Kevin. And do you agree with Kevin, the other Kevin? Kevin.
Yeah, look, Messi's on 4 bookings, and if he gets one more booking, he gets suspended for the next game. So my namesake Kevin reckons Messi's holding off because he doesn't want to get booked. Listen, Messi doesn't need to go full out, because he's the difference maker already in this team. Barcelona need him, and he can't afford to get booked.
Mandas says, give Kevin a yellow card. Now I'm confused. I don't know which Kevin you're referring to. If his prediction goes wrong. Wrong predictions, that is only Kevin Campbell that we have to talk about there. Balkrishna says De Jong might have bagged a brace if he'd gone for goal himself. Should De Jong have been a bit more selfish, do you think, Peter, in that first half?
Well, he's more of a creative player. You can understand that. But I like when you get in positions to have a striker goal, I always like people taking them options. And I've got to say, I think De Jong's been absolutely outstanding this season. His energy and his willingness to work for the team is outstanding.
Kashif, you're very funny. Rumour has it that Busquets could find Messi in the dark. This is another player. We talked about Griezmann finding form. Kevin, Busquets of late is finding form, certainly in comparison to the first half of the season. Both you and I were very critical of Busquets in the first half of the season.
Yeah, Joe, I think in the first half of the season, Busquets looked a bit leggy at times. He wasn't really finishing games. But let's be honest, I think the Pedri getting into the side made a real big difference to Busquets. I think that allowed him to do a little bit more of what he's good at. Pedri could do a little bit more of the energy side, and it really helped Busquets.
Okay, thank you very much, gentlemen. Let's head back to the Camp Nou. The players are... Who is that? The players are in, or certainly the Barca players are in the tunnel ahead of the second half. Are we going to see changes, and when are we going to see them? Let's return and rejoin your commentary team of Andy West and alongside him, Glenn Taylor.
Live a season without a script, improvised by protagonists who rehearse non-stop. It's not fiction, it's not a thriller, it's something much bigger. And after 90 seasons, the excitement is still intact in La Liga Santander and La Liga Smart Bank. It's not football, it's La Liga.
Barcelona are 5.5 games away from the title if they hold on to the win here tonight and then win the next 5 games. They will be champions. It's as simple as that. And see if they can close out the job tonight here first, before then they travel to Valencia. And then, of course, that huge game at home to Atletico Madrid before they finish the season against Levante, Celta Vigo and Eibar. But 5.5 wins, and they're there. Glenn, is it going to be that simple for Barca? Surely this complicated La Liga season is going to have more twists and turns than that.
Well, it's what we expect, Andy. I mean, I think you can't forget as well about the sides that are in pursuit, shall we say, should Barca win tonight. You've still got Atletico, who will definitely have something to say when they come here to the Camp Nou. And Real Madrid, they never give up. They can always grind out to performance, no matter what circumstances they're under. And Sevilla, they've proved to have a great squad all season. They've dug deep when they had to, and they've always been a threat. For me, personally, I think apart from the Atletico game, that's not as clear. I think the other 4, based on this season, are winnable games for Barcelona. There is no easy game in La Liga, I do feel, but Barcelona should feel confident at least of winning 4 of those 5, and then they have to win, in my opinion, as well against Atletico. But that won't be very straightforward.
Well, the beauty of their situation now with Atletico losing in Bilbao at the weekend is that Barca could even afford to draw the game with Atletico as long as they win all their others. But we're conjecturing maybe a little too far into the future. We've got a game here now to finish, which Granada are not going to go away quietly. They showed in that opening period that they can cause problems, and pretty sure we'll see goals in this second half, Glenn, because the more that Granada come out in search of the equaliser, the more space they'll leave behind for Barca to exploit.
Indeed, Diego Martinez isn't a manager that he won't be happy with a 1-0 defeat at all. I think if he picks up a draw, he'll be content, because his side have defended very well in this first 45. But they won't rest on their laurels, and they won't sit back until the end of the game. They will try to at least get something out of this game. And Barcelona know full well that they have to get a second goal. The perfect example was here against Cadiz. Cadiz didn't have a single chance throughout the entirety of the game. Barca were 1-0 up, and then Barca conceded a penalty with the final kick of the ball of the game. So we'll see what happens tonight.
Umtiti with a good pass for Elish, and now Griezmann can turn and shoot and fire it wide. Very nearly a goal to settle Barca's nerves, if they have any, in the first minute of the second half. Lovely ball from Umtiti to Elish, showing great awareness to find that pocket of space, and then the pass to Griezmann, who was not far off target.
On his weaker right foot, though, there, he didn't get the whip on the ball that probably would have guided it towards that back post, straight off target. But very good effort, good early chance for Barcelona, showing that their intentions are clear coming out of the dressing room. And we'll see maybe if that man Pedri will get some minutes in the second half to help add to that flair in the middle of the park.
Soldado flicking it on, Luis Suarez finding Machis, but he couldn't control. In steps Eteki to win it back. Now Kinney trying to play it forward. At the second attempt, he's able to find Suarez. Tries to flick it back to Kinney and then goes wide for Machis. Good headed control. Now stepping inside to deliver the cross. Fulquier is making the run into the box, but it's beyond him and behind for the goal kick. But again, a little reminder there from Granada, getting plenty of players forward in that attack. Just get a feeling that Barca will need a second goal in this game. You also feel that they will be able to create more chances. Already one in this second half for Griezmann. And here's Messi finding Elish, who really doesn't look 18. The maturity with which he plays, the personality he shows, incredibly impressive from Elish, who's only starting in La Liga for the second time today. And the way he asserts himself, it's really hard to believe that, Glenn.
No, he really is a presence in midfield. We've seen, especially off the bench over these last few games, where when Koeman's needed legs in the middle of the park for the final half an hour or so, he brings on Elish Moriba ahead of the likes of Ricky Puig, as we mentioned, or Miralem Pjanic as well, a player brought in for a massive transfer fee. But why? It's because he brings what the team is lacking sometimes, which is legs and pace in midfield. And he's very good at helping to link up that part of the midfield with the attack, or with Lionel Messi, if you will.
Here is Messi, found by Busquets, turns away from Yangel Herrera. Again, Elish Moriba in an advanced position. That really is something he offers, that threat to the penalty area, as he has showed with the pass to Griezmann a minute ago. As Griezmann now finds Messi, looking to jink his way through. Elish trying to help win it back. He does so, but only by committing the foul. So Granada have the chance to clear their lines. We saw briefly the veteran Jorge Molina warming up. He could be the first option from the bench for Diego Martinez. Molina, 39 years old now, does have 5 goals this season, and remains a very crafty player. Not too much pace about him these days, but certainly very skillful. Here's Mingueza giving it back to Ter Stegen. Out for Jordi Alba. Elish makes a little bit of space down the left and is caught from behind by Yangel Herrera.
It's not the first or the last foul of the game from Yangel Herrera, without a doubt. And he knows that he's got to be wary of himself getting a yellow card in that middle of the park alongside Yannick Teki. Elish Moriba just trying to beat him for pace there.
Beautiful play from Busquets to find space for the pass, but then Germán Sanchez got there ahead of Messi, and there's a break on now. Soldado's got Suarez running ahead of him. Soldado's going to take it on himself. Chance here, looks for Suarez, might fall for him still. Scrambled away in the end by Umtiti. But another reminder from Granada that they cannot be discounted from getting back into this game. Good play from Soldado, and maybe a little unselfish with the pass in the end for Suarez rather than going for goal himself.
I'd probably say a bit too unselfish, to be fair, Andy. I think he had more than enough space to take the shot on, and he is really an out-and-out striker, smells the goal, and really, in my mind, should have taken at least an attempt at a shot, because Piqué was always going to block that pass for Luis Suarez. But very good attack and very good movement on the ball yet again from Roberto Soldado.
And although we've talked about how Granada are defensively disciplined, they are playing with 3 forwards. Machis, Suarez and Soldado, all of them want to get forward whenever they can. Perhaps now, for example, on the counter-attack, but Suarez can't quite find Machis as Mingueza steps in. Now Griezmann receives it from Sergio Roberto, back to Busquets, who's really been imperious today in the centre of the field. Griezmann to Messi. Herrera gets a good foot in, this time a legal challenge to win it back, but Eteki dwelling on the ball is robbed by Busquets. Messi has no one ahead of him in the box, so they'll go back to start again from midfield with Busquets. Elish. Alba. De Jong making a run towards him. Looks for the 1-2. Fulquier with the touch, and then Sanchez with the clearance, but Umtiti brings it down calmly into Busquets again. What a pass to find Messi. Messi for De Jong, clipped towards the far post. Sergio Roberto volleys it over the bar, but more sparkling, incisive play from Barcelona, again prompted by Busquets with this pass through to Messi.
It's a lovely ball in between the lines, and the same here again from Messi. Sadly, though, for Sergio Roberto, trying to hit that on the volley, side-footing it, really. Had he just probably been a step further behind, he would have been able to catch it a bit more sweetly with a bit more power and on target, but it's a close chance, and the reaction from Dembele says it all there on the sidelines.
As we see again, the half chance for Granada, and Soldado, it is surprising that he didn't just let fly with his right foot there. And Suarez now chasing it down, and Ter Stegen taking no risks this time with the big boot downfield. Germán Sanchez in position to nod it back to his keeper. Yeah, we saw Dembele warming up. Barca, with the injury list gradually clearing, do have more options than at many times this season from the bench. Pjanic is there as well today. Serginho Dest, a regular starter in recent weeks. Obviously, Clement Lenglet at the back too. Pedri, a rare rest for him from the starting lineup today. And so Ronald Koeman can turn behind him, look in the stands at all those substitutes, and really he's spoilt for choice these days.
Does have a strong and fit squad at the moment. The big surprise for me, and the real question that I can't wait to see answered, is what happens probably next season at this point, is to see where Ansu Fati fits into this team, because if he's fit, he'll have to play, in my opinion. But we don't know if that will mean going back to a back four with three up front, and then maybe Griezmann feels out of place, and that really is a dilemma that Koeman will have to deal with probably next season, as we don't expect to see Ansu Fati back this season.
Another brilliant pass from Busquets, and De Jong into the area, challenged by Ateki, and that challenge was enough to get it away. But we're seeing a passing masterclass from midfield by Sergio Busquets, which is really great to see, because for the last couple of years he seemed to have entered into a decline. He had some real struggles in the big games that Barca lost in particular, but he seems rejuvenated this season, maybe because De Jong has had a better season, Pedri emergence as well, and Elias today. But Busquets, this is maybe his best season in 5, 6 or 7 years.
I do agree with that, Andy, as well. I do think, though, he had a bit of a poor first half of the season, but also I believe it's down to the change in formation. Playing with three centre-backs behind Busquets just means that he only has to look forward, doesn't have to look behind. And every time he picks up the ball, lifts up his head, looks for Messi, doesn't have to play the ball backwards.
Yeah, he hasn't got any quicker in the last 6 months, and that was his problem, being exposed, particularly on counter-attacks. But it's a good point that with three defenders behind him now, there's that extra assurance, so he can do more of this, prompting and probing from midfield. As he finds Messi onto Griezmann, flicked out to Alba. Messi nearby, receives the pass. Victor Diaz nearby. So Barca go back. Busquets again omnipresent as Barca launched their attacks. He is the fulcrum of everything. And here's another pass over the top for Sergio Roberto, squared, and there's no one there. He played it just behind Elias. Yet another brilliant ball, though, from Busquets.
It's not the first time we've seen Roberto run in behind and playing that ball across goal. All he has to try and do is, in my opinion, play it across the face of goal instead of trying to play it back to the penalty spot. And that would be an easier way to get a chance, especially with Elias and I believe Griezmann running towards the back post.
I think that's what he was looking for. He just misplaced it, Sergio Roberto. As Busquets looks to start something again. De Jong onto Messi. Griezmann tried to work the pass to Sergio Roberto, but it was cut out. And a long kick up now to Soldado, who tries to bring it down, but slightly heavy touch, and Alba can come across and win it back for Barca. Busquets gives it away for once, but makes amends immediately by winning it back. Find Messi, a little nutmeg on Herrera. Now Griezmann. Messi going outside him. Griezmann cuts inside, lays it back for Alba. Didn't want to take on a shot on his right foot, so back to Busquets, and now De Jong. Sergio Roberto inside him, so too Alba in an unfamiliar central position. Staying there, having made that run earlier. Griezmann, De Jong and Sergio Roberto in a passing triangle. And now Mingueza joining the attack. Busquets onto Alba. Now Busquets to Messi, taken well. Flicked on De Jong, Sergio Roberto. Cross towards the far post. Alba prods it back to Busquets. Another brilliant pass looking for Sergio Roberto, and just beyond him. I think the flag has gone up for offside against Griezmann, who wasn't the intended recipient from Busquets. As Barca again come close to unpicking this Granada defence.
Yet again, another brilliant pass from Sergio Busquets. He's having one of his best games of the season, I believe, today. Lovely pass in between the lines there, yet again, trying to find Roberto. And very close once more, as you mentioned, and he lost the ball, but he was also the one that won the ball back. Linking up with Messi here.
Well, Granada had a couple of flurries earlier in the half, but at the moment they can be relieved they haven't conceded more big chances. There's a handball, I think, there against Granada. No changes made yet by either coach, as we see that handball by Suarez. But we are about to see the first change now, and it is Jorge Molina, the 39-year-old. Imagine this will be a straight swap for Roberto Soldado.
Not too sure, Andy, to be honest, because he hasn't really got the pace of Soldado. Maybe going back to a 4-4-2, but we'll have to see.
Would be a nice story if we get a Soldado and Molina forward line, a 39-year-old and a 35-year-old. They don't too often play together. We'll see shortly. As Busquets has the ball once again. Mingueza to Messi. Approaching the hour mark at the Camp Nou. The game still in Barca's control, but Granada still in it. Just a one-goal margin. Messi's goal in the first half.